Welcome to the afternoon room this Friday. Oh man, what a day in the markets. I'm gonna let everyone continue to pile in. Welcome, welcome. This is the last day. I think I'll be covering, and Jeremy should be back Monday. He'll bring the streak of profitability, bring it back. Money day, right on, Joseph. Awesome. What's up, guys? What's up, T? Albert, what's up? John Axe, how you doing, man? Justin, what an awesome team we have, right? What an awesome team that we have. Start up on that guy there. Cool, cool. Keep letting people file in for a few minutes. How was your guys' week? All right. Mike, yeah, I can throw that on the list for sure. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, like. Oh, come on, computer. Wake up. Excited to get some swings for next week, huh? Oh, what the heck? My little guy just, this little note software I use just died on me. All right. Come on. Something just froze up. Here we go. All right. Okay, I think everyone should be here. So, yes, we can do that. Some volume indicators. Right on. All right. So, hope you're having an awesome week. Happy Friday. I got a tea time coming up, so I'm gonna try to end on time the best I can. So ready to go start the weekend, right? On a good note. So let's go over the markets real quick, and then we will get over into some trades. So the market had a great day. It's fallen through a little bit on bouncing off of this 100 on a daily. We are still very much inside of this channel. Man, I'm struggling with my lines today. There we go. Bottom and top, right? So I'm expecting a push up and then a push back down and probably some chop, just like we had here. Push up, down, up, and then we broke lower. So I'm expecting a little bit more of that. I don't think we just kind of go bananas. But I tell you what, though, if we gap on Monday above 333, look for a little pullback, and it will be off to the races. 333 is going to be a big level on the SPY for me to keep an eye on. Okay, so I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I think we probably go a little bit lower before we go higher. That makes a lot of sense. Just push one more drop in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, probably another push down for a 5. We don't know if that's going to actually happen or not, but we'll find out. So that's the SPY. The Qs had another good push, but we are right back into this old resistance, new hold support, new resistance. So again, we're just going to kind of channel here for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see a gap down that fades, and just some bouncing, right? We down here on the Qs, we still have not hit the 100 on a daily yet. So we will see. They've got a little bit more room to go if it wants to head a smidge lower. But 255, 250, somewhere in that ballpark makes a lot of sense. We'll see. We still have a lot in front of us. But this was a good end of the week, right? We are starting to form a bottom. Some bulls are starting to wake up. People are starting to buy. I bought me some SPY calls off of 320. I know this is the Qs, but around back in there when the SPY is there. That was just kind of my number. That's what I wanted. So the markets are starting to bounce a little. We'll see if the base is trying to form. Expect some chop, though. I don't think we just rampage up out of here. Very well could happen. I doubt it, though. So I need to throw, yeah, I already have Baidu on the list. So cool. Let's get started on this here list. Get going. ILMN. Man, that's a tough ticker to say. I mean, we watched this happen. It just left the station without me. I saw it and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I should just set it up after looking at this stock for 10 minutes. But man, you see this inside candle bounce up and there's my target. I'd be at my target and I'd pretty much be out of most of my position right now if I took that trade. I think someone here might have taken that trade. Let me know if you did. It's me, Jack Whalen. Yeah. Did you take profits today? What'd you do? What did you do? Let me know. Still holding it. Very cool. I would take something off here. Take a partial. Take 10%. Take 30%. Take 50%. Take something off right here. If I were you. But hey, man, awesome trade. Cool. So that one has gone to target. Really cool. I'm glad someone caught that. TWLO, I said yesterday it looks really good for a setup, and it's following through. So put this on the list for Monday. I really like it. Really like it. You're smacking your head into an EMA, so I'm expecting a pullback. So, you know, somewhere back into here, 238 could be a fun entry. Maybe even 234 could be really cool. That could happen. I know that's something Jerremy Newsome would do. Let's buy that thing back down here off of this EMA, off this 20. But somewhere back up into there could be a fun setup. I'm not going to be here, so I won't be the one setting this up. But we've been keeping this on our radar for a few days now. I do like it. I like it a lot. It's really respecting this 100. It's getting some action. We said yesterday this is a very bullish sign, and we're following through. So it might leave the station without us. That's okay. But keep that on your radar. That one looks really good. I know it's going to be on my radar. Let me make sure I have it on this list. And scoot it on up so I can look at these guys on Monday. Cool. Baidu is next on the list. Oh no. There we go. Baidu. Okay. It's chopping sideways. It's definitely getting bought up. So every time we're gapping down, it's getting bought up. So that's a really great sign. It doesn't want to be below these EMAs. It just wants to keep getting bought up. Let's see here. It's compressing. Ooh, it's compressing. So I'm going to let this thing continue to compress and bring this 100 on a weekly down. That's kind of what I want. I want to just keep on keeping on. Just keep compressing. It does look strong. It looks like this will go higher. I just don't know when. So nice big double bottom with a new low on a weekly. It makes a lot of sense for it to try to get up to 133 and then push back up into 145 in the next month or two. So that's my thoughts on that. Apple is the next one, and what a move on Apple. So Apple on a weekly, we came down here off of the 20. You can see where I wanted Apple. I want Apple down here. I still think it has a chance to get there, but it is showing some strength. What a close. So we talked the other day that a close back above these EMAs, but mainly back above this pivot, would be incredibly strong, and it closed strong. So if Apple gaps Monday above 113.50, look out. It might be ready to rock and roll. If it does that, then the bottom will be in on Apple for sure. I could see that. So 113.50, keep an eye on that one. If we get a gap up Monday, it is a retest gap. So don't jump in right when the market opens, right? Let the thing move, come back and grab it. So anything off of this EMA right there is not going to hurt anything. So I bought some Apple calls there. I didn't get anything here. I wanted to push to 100 and I was going to leg in some more, and then I was going to leg in a lot down here, but we'll see. I might have to just wait 6 or 7 or 8 months to get that, but we will see. So that's Apple. Great little double bottom forming and fantastic finish to the day. That's showing some serious strength. Like I said, buyers are waking up and saying, okay, this is the levels that I want things at. So looking really good. Tesla's next on the list. Let's see here. Tesla next on the list. It is doing the same thing it did last time, right? So on this daily here, we pulled back down into the 50 and we bounced, chopped, came back down. So I don't see Tesla just rampaging higher. It could. I think that we might be getting a little bit of chop and then it'd probably end up going. If we don't hold this EMA, then we're well on our way back down to 275, possibly 260. So I know that's where I want to be buying Tesla, is back up into there. I don't know if it gets there. It really depends on where we open on Monday. So if we can, again, it's a lot like anything right now. If we can get a good gap up above some of these EMAs, it's a home run again. It's ready to rock and roll, and it very well could happen. But I just think it's going to chop for just, oh my goodness, for just a little bit and then go. This looks pretty strong. I think it's trying to put in a higher low. Looks really good. Give it a little bit of patience, and if you can buy it as low as you possibly can, go in light right there, go in medium right there, and go in heavy at 260. It's kind of my thoughts. Look on the weekly. Yeah, so a bear hammer. Definitely respecting this EMA. Lots of buying coming in, but it's not, let's see, you know, it's not like a bull weekly hammer like that or like that. You know, it's strong, right? We've done it before. This one kind of chopped for a couple weeks after a bear hammer came in, then it was off to the races. So that one also pulled back to the 50 though. So it just still seems a little bit high, but it's Tesla, man. It can just keep rocking and rolling off of that. So I would expect some sort, again, inside pullback and chop, and we'll see what happens. That's what makes a lot of sense to me, but I could also see this thing wanting to figure out how low it'll go. So we will see, but I definitely have a bullish edge on Tesla for sure. I could see it chopping for just a little bit and rock and roll, and just depends on the gap on Monday. OSTK. Okay. The weekly looks a little weak. The weekly looks like it kind of wants to, and I think we talked about this, right? It kind of wants to go lower. It kind of looks that way. We'll see. Getting above this EMA, like I said, with everything is going to be a very bull move, and that will kind of confirm and see if we want to double top and where we go from there. But the weekly doesn't look crazy strong to me. It still looks like we might want to come back a little. And if you look at how today closed on such a crazy bull day in the market, it kind of has that feeling, right? I would be patient on this. I'm more of, I don't care to buy right here. I care to buy there. And really here, I mean, 35 is wishful thinking. I highly doubt that happens. But let's look and see where the next support is and where an EMA matches up. And in this ballpark might be a pretty cool place to buy, around 50. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, if we get a close above this bear candle, then it could be a play for a stop there, an entry there, and then a play back into this high. We could do that for sure. That'd be a nice, strong sign. I think a lot of the bears are watching this level right now, around 80. Anyone that shorted and they're still in this, hoping it pulls down to 50, their eyes are at 80 right now, and their stops are at 80 right now. So if we can kind of get a gap up, you might see this thing fly because they might be getting squeezed out. So that's what a lot of things look like right now. STOP. Stop. Did nothing. Did I not write that correctly? If that was yours, let me know. AYX, we'll move on. AYX. Sorry, I've been staring at the screen all day today. It's time for me to get out of the house and go to the golf course. My eyes are so dried out. I don't know if I can, my eyelids are stuck to them. All right, so the daily does look like it's forming a base. It's had a great buying place on a weekly. Ooh, did we look at this earlier? I like this. I don't know. I think we may have looked at this, but this will go up on my list a little bit. I mean, we have some evidence about what it did last time, right? And then what did we talk about? This indecision candle, and it's not quite an inside candle, but guess what is? That bull candle right there on a weekly. So we are building pressure. This thing is ready to rock and roll. The only downside is all these weekly EMAs stuck at 122. So 122 is definitely going to be the struggle bus level for the next little bit. But man, is this thing looking good, especially with this big old bull candle with a new baby low on the week and shot up high. This looks very strong. This is one of Matt's stocks that, well, then we know this is going to work. Jacob, right? For sure. I can definitely see next week getting into 118 all day. It's going to be a struggle bus getting above this guy, but it looks really good. I like it a lot. And the daily is, I just want to put a level right there and then go back to the daily. So it's just that neckline. And you got a ton of dailies right here too, some big ones, 200 EMA, stuff like that. So I say this thing is probably going to bounce. I'm going to keep my eye on this one next week for sure. I don't have a setup on it. It's not going to give me anything right now on a daily, but just keep your eye on this thing. Don't let me down, Matt. Straddle. You have to look and see what the IV is. If it's got some low IV, possible, but I doubt it. I think the IV is building. Earnings are not till November. I pretty much know the direction this thing's going to do, and that's bullish. I don't want to do a straddle on something that I know what it's probably going to do. If I'm expecting a big move, I just don't know which way, then I'll consider that. But to me, this looks pretty bullish. And honestly, if it can put in one more break, that might be what it needs to push this thing through. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll gap up and probably head on our way up to 123, and then we're going to chop in here for a week or two. So bull put spread, yeah, this could be a good bull put spread. I just have to look and see what the premium has on it, because I'm sure it's not a whole lot. I'm not really into spreads that, I have to sell 2 months out. I'd rather sell a week or two out, as long as it gives me a good location on the chart. I just don't like tying up my capital and waiting for three months or a month or 2 months for theta to do its job. I'd rather just capitalize on theta in the last 2 weeks of an option. That's really going to make a difference, and just minimize my risk. So I'll take a look at it for sure, but it could be a good idea. I like it. The weekly looks fantastic. I think it's got a little bit more chop, but it's compressing. We are building some pressure. Baba, what did you do today, Baba? Gotta be bullish. Not bad. Not as bullish as I thought it would have been. But we just traded back down. We finally hit that EMA and rampaged up out of there. So on pretty decent volume. It's kind of like everything in the market right now, where it does feel like we are forming a base and getting ready to go. So hopefully you've been keeping that powder dry and getting some cash ready to rock and roll and buy some stuff, because it looks like this coming up week's gonna be pretty interesting. We just need to keep in mind that we have October, which is going to be a little bit choppy because of the election and a lot of other news and stimulus deals that are hoping to be done. And if they're not done, a lot of things can affect the market. So are things at good buy points? Yes. But just have defensive strategies and plans in place to help offset that. So for me, when I bought the SPY, I bought it pretty much at the money, but then I sold it. I sold some calls way out of the money against it, knowing that we probably are going to get some bull moves and some chop. And if we head lower or even just chop long enough, that sold call is going to offset my theta loss from my long calls. And so I can exit those short calls right there, knowing that this can bounce, because these long calls are more than a year out for my expiration. I got some time. They're leaps, right? So I don't mind if the SPY pulls back down. And again, I know this is Bob, but I'm just using this as an example. I don't mind if it pulls back down. I can go ahead and buy to close this for a big profit. And that'll pretty much pay for all of my theta that I'll be losing and minimize my risk. Buy some more calls and then rock and roll up higher. So something like that you could play. The only downside is if the market just goes bananas, I've capped my wins. So I didn't sell my call like right there. I sold it at a nice high resistance that I'll still make, 5 Rs. I just won't be able to make 20 Rs. So to me, it's worth it because I think we have some chop, but if I'm wrong, I'm still going to make money. So play some defense, figure some stuff out, be creative. Lots of ways to minimize risk in the market and capitalize on chop while still taking advantage of the move in case it goes. So that's my thoughts on BABA. It's definitely basing. It's at a strong support, at an EMA. Keep this on your list for next week as well. Looks really good setting up like this might be the base of BABA. So we'll find out. LEN, is that who I got next? I do, yeah. So LEN seems a wee bit high. Yeah, this one is, we've talked about this all week long. We don't want to be buyers where everyone else is selling. So like the people that bought right there, that was a good place to get in. This is where they're taking their profits. People that bought there and the people that bought down here and even people here and the people here and the people here, everyone's taking profits in new highs. And so for me, I'm not really caring to buy up here. It does look really good, looks really strong. It's trying to hold this EMA. I don't know if it will. It kind of looks more like it's going to double top, come down, see what we do after 20. Most likely work our way down into like 63 to 66 range, somewhere in there. If I had to guess, that's what it looks like for me. So that's my thoughts on LEN. Just too high for me. And I don't want to short it because the trend is strong. Why go against that trend, especially, you short things that are bearish, and we're not bearish until we take out that higher low. If we go below 57, then we'll consider some shorts, right? Upwork. Oh my goodness. Upwork. So for some reason, all of my old entries got moved down like 50% on all of my charts. Did this happen to anyone else in TradingView? It's extremely annoying. All of my targets were up there, and now they're all the way down in no man's land. So I don't know what happened, but it did that to my Apple trade too. So let me just get all of these off. What a fantastic candle on a weekly off of an EMA. So we have a few things happening here. Odds are this thing keeps on rocking and rolling, but FOMO is going to start kicking in. And anytime FOMO starts kicking in, you're asking for a massive drop. FOMO kicking in, massive drop. FOMO kicking in, massive drop, right? I would stay away from this until we can get down, this would be a pretty decent place to buy this. Will it get down there? No idea. Mike, you said, I have found to have constantly manually save my charts. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. I will do that for sure. I've never had an issue until like this week. My lines are always there until this week, and now my lines have moved down 30 or 40% on the charts. So I don't know. Something's off. Leave it to TradingView to screw up their charts. This guy, the move is there, but it's too high. You just don't want to buy anything up in here, and you don't want to be that guy, right? You don't want to be that guy. Same thing. This chart just, where have we gone down to and bounced every time? And it's this one right here, the 50. So if you want to play with the 50, you might have to wait a couple weeks for it to come down, but it's showing its hand. It looks crazy strong. It's just too high for my liking. Not much I can do there. It's in no man's land. I feel like I'm just FOMOing it right now. So would have been cool to catch on the bottom there off those EMAs, but what a week. What a week for some Upwork. LVGO. Let's see here. Too many monitors in front of my face. This looks good. It's a good trend. Like I think we talked about this the other day. It's just too high, it looks like. Yeah, it's too high. It's S curving and it could probably push another one. I think we could push into a new high possibly. I'm just not a buyer there. I would have loved to get something there possibly, you know, something a little bit sideways. Or of course down there with a stop there, 1R, 2R, and it's still cranking. So it's nice and strong, too high for me. I don't care to be in something this high. So definitely an awesome trend. It's a new stock. Came down, found a low, and never looked back. So again, don't let FOMO kick you. I'd be a buyer at this off of the 50 on a weekly. So like 67, like 70. Let's just call it 70. Is where I'd want to be a buyer at this. I think that's a better long-term play, a better swing trade. That's more of my cup of tea right there. I think you could really hold that thing for some major arge. So that's my thoughts on that. Just a little bit too high, but it's a sweet trend. Looks good. So Costco. Whew, Costco. Look at the volume today. I mean, this week. What the heck? What day today off this EMA? Costco might be wanting to play back up into 356. I could see it. You have a hammer, gap down, and another one. So keep Costco on your list as well for some type of bullish movement, especially if we can get back down into this 50 on a daily. Back into 336 area would be pretty sweet. That volume is pretty amazing. And you know what a part of that volume could be is people getting stopped out, which I like even more. This was an earnings day. Oh, you know what? Earnings was right there, huh? Is that why this volume is massive? I should have paid attention. This had to be earnings then. Okay. Gotcha. That makes a little bit more sense. So this is an earnings play with that. And it actually was an inside gap. Interesting. So they beat estimates. Look for some longs. For sure. My analysis doesn't change. Anything back off of this 50 would be awesome. I don't mind getting something at 344 though. Is it too high on the weekly? Probably. Yeah. But the thing is, you have a solid support. So when I say too high on the weekly, I'm talking about something like it's just gone straight up, pulled back, and then gone straight up again. And now it's just kind of chopping. This has gone straight up and it's been sideways for a long time. We broke out and now we're pulling back in. So it's high, yes, but you don't have very much room. There's not much of a gap from that resistance and support. You see what I'm saying, Jacob? It is high. And with it being this high, there is a chance that you can get a pullback down into here, this 50 on a weekly, for sure. What I was going to say also is there's a chance that you get stuck in this channel for a while, kind of like we did here. So that's why I wanted to say, setting this trade up, I'd be looking for something into like 356 or 350. Yeah, 356 would work, and then just get out. This isn't one of those trades I'm going to be like, yeah, let's hold it. I'd probably take my profits somewhere in there in this ballpark and then out, because I think we're just going to chop. We're at the bottom of the channel, let it get back up to the top and let it come back down again. So that's my thoughts on Costco. I gotta keep moving. QCOM. Cool. Fantastic. So Qualcomm, this is what we've been looking for other trades to set up and do. A gap above this bear candle on that one day, back above the daily EMA. That's a strong gap, everyone. Strong gap. Where is this on the weekly? Shoot. I mean, it's high, but it has pulled back. But again, it's up there. It is up there. If I just look at this daily chart, this daily chart says, hey, I want to go to 118 or 119 pretty bad. That's a strong gap. Really strong. Expect this thing to move. Yeah. So the weekly, I don't know. We'll see if this thing ever decides to kind of come back. It might go to 101, but this is strong. And this is you've interacted with this 10 EMA on a weekly a couple times before, and it bounced pretty strong off of that. We'll see what happens, but this daily gap looks fantastic. If you want to look for some longs, some day trading, some swing trading, keep an eye out for some long trades. Anything above this bear candle, anything above 113.76 looks really, really good. Cool, cool. SSP. Ugh. That sucks. What? I don't, is this some news driven something? It does want to go bullish, but I tell you what, if we ever broke 1033, that'd be one of the greatest shorts you could find in this next little bit because of everyone that's trapped. Everyone has been riding this roller coaster. A lot of people are still in this with their stops sitting right there. And if it breaks that, goodbye. I got to lean towards the bullish side on this one. That is extremely weird. I don't know the news behind this, but massive. I mean, quadruple the volume of any other day in the past long time. Some news event. Expect this to go sideways, but I think you do build off of the momentum on top of these EMAs. So the fact that it held this today, a little inside candle, we could play this, right? If you wanted to, we just talked about this, a buy there and then a stop below the previous candle. That could be cool. If you wanted to do that, that's a pretty cool trade setup. I think that works actually pretty well. SSP, add that onto the list. Again, I don't want to have 50 million trades set up for Jeremy to come back to. I know he wouldn't mind. I'll leave the afternoon room to Jeremy, but we'll pass this information on to him on Monday and see where this thing gaps. But that could be fun with that inside candle after that move. So SSP, let me add that onto the list here real quick. Cool. All right. VVPR. Vivo Power. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're pretty up there on a weekly for sure. So is this all-time? It is all-time highs as well area, right? That was all-time high, pulled back. Daily looks pretty good, actually. This could be pretty fun to take, but my target would be 11. That's where I'd be at. So just know that this has a chance to pull back pretty good, especially with it being the price of a stock that it is. But you take out that low and it's going to flush. But it looks strong on the daily. The broadcasting communications. Okay, Jay. Cool. For SSP, yeah. Daily looks really good, and it looks like it wants to bounce one more time. We'll find out what happens. It's pretty high up on the week. I like to be buying stuff and looking for buying stuff, especially at this time of the market where we've ran up, we're pulling back, and this is kind of where everything's at. It's a great time for swing trades. Swing trades should be pretty good come November, I think. They have good setups now as long as you have a long enough time frame to hold through October, get into November. You should be pretty awesome. So that's my thought. I don't really have much to say on that. The daily looks good. The weekly is, you're up there. You're up there quite a bit. And when stocks make big moves like that, they tend to chop. So don't take your sweet time on that one. Get in and take your 1 hour profit and bounce out. So Snow, the new snowflake, Snowy McSnowerton, brand new stock, IPO'd at like 250 bucks ballpark. The company's got legit numbers. People like them, but this gap should have been fantastic, and it sucked. Who bought it 320? A lot of people bought it 320. Not Edward Lynn though. Not him. No way. You're looking back down here, or maybe even one more. What I was going to say, I kind of expect with this clean of a base, you expect a trap, and it gapped down and was bought up, and so I could think that we get some bullish movements now. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm waiting for 120. Wasn't supposed to IPO at 120, Jacob? I have no idea, but this is what price it IPO'd at. So I don't know what the heck they're doing, trying to raise money. And the crazy thing is people thought it was a great idea until Buffett got it. Yeah. That's not good sentiment. At the exact same time, I love the fact that we gap down, trap some people, and just trap City. Rampage. Where's my Falco, right? It's a trap. We need him on here right now. I need to get myself a soundboard. That looks good. And we could be bouncing out of here now simply off of this sentiment. I don't know how high we go, but I'm going to stay away from new stocks unless I really know the company well, and that's just not my style. I'm too lazy to look into numbers. So I just look at charts, but there's not much to go off of here, but they're trying to figure out a direction. And I love the sentiment of this. Gap down, bought up, and held it. So we'll see. Something like this could make sense. I don't know how high it'll go, but something like that. Okay, TTD. Oh man, all right. I always do this. I always get stuck talking about stocks and then I ruin it. Looks good. The weekly's still way up there though. I mean, this is begging to be retested. 350. I just don't know if it will. That's a strong weekly candle. That is strong. It looks like we're going to go higher on the trade desk. So, you know, something back into there or even a breakout there could be interesting, which I think you would have been triggered in right at the end of today. But I wouldn't be surprised to see market gap up. It wouldn't shock me. And that would be super bullish as long as it doesn't gap right into those EMAs and then fall off the map on the SPY. So what I'm talking about is this. I see a gap up on Monday, but if we gap right into these EMAs, it's going to do this. All right, just repeat. So that's my thoughts on that. It looks good, and I can see it gapping up, and it might rampage, get in on the retest. Looks good. We got MTRX. I can't type for some reason today. Another cheap stock, below $10, which kind of takes it off of my list. Nice bull week there. Came down inside candle. So if you wanted to play this as an inside week, you could, right? 896 by 720. See if you go any higher. The monthly looks like crap. But you're at a crazy strong support. It's tried to bounce and it rolled lower. So it would make sense for me in my eyes for it to bounce one more time and possibly roll lower. I don't know. We'll find out. It's at a bouncing point. The monthly sucks. The daily's okay. We'll find out. That is some serious volume in the new high, and then you fell off. This is as high as the thing's going to go for the next little while. 920, in my opinion, is going to be the cap on this thing for quite a while. Just FYI, and we'll talk about volume. Remind me to talk about this on volume, MTRX, if we have a few minutes. And I'm going to tell you why I think this thing is probably going to be the high. Okay. Ron says you're going to be in my upcoming mentoring group. October starts. I don't know if I'm booked out yet, but jump in if you can. Can't wait to discuss some of the tips you gave over the last 2 days that I implemented in my trades today, and I am up big. Ron, that's what I'm talking about. Too much to talk about here. Man, this is why we have the RLT family. This is why. That makes me so happy. You just made my week. You already joined today. Awesome. I can't wait to have you in my mentoring group. We're going to have too much fun in there. My mentoring groups, people are just, their minds are blown, man. They're having so much fun. I'm like, do you guys know there's free money in the market? They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's free money in the market. I'll be in the Johnny group. Oh, you can't beat Johnny. We should have mentoring group competitions. He's going to win. I can't compete. Can't compete with him. I can't compete with these other guys. Joseph, you're too nice, man. You're awesome. Cool. Let me get back to this. MTRX, I think it's kind of a dead duck. It's going to do nothing for a little bit. So, MU. That's pretty interesting. MU looks like it's trying to come back to life. I mean, it put in a higher low on a weekly. We're back above these weekly EMAs, which would have been a big battle. We do have an unfilled retest gap on a weekly chart, but you know, this is that gap. It looks pretty good. That's not bad. You don't have a ton of room in front of you, but if you could grab some risk reward of there by there, so 49.75 by 49.55, and try to get something up into here. Might be a fun little R. That looks pretty good. It's not too extended, and you're showing some serious strength. This gap is massive and strong. So it doesn't look double. Yeah, it could look double topish. But here's the thing about an S curve. Every S curve looks double topish. Does that look like a double top? Could it just do that, right? Or is it going to do this? That is the joy of the market. And that's where the battle takes place. You're always going to see the volume at these pivots, because it's the battle of shorts going, okay, this is a double top and I'm going to short the heck out of this thing here. And you also have bulls buying the breakout there, right? And then you have a pull down, and you have bulls battling to push this thing back up because now they want to get in on that halfway move. And you have bears that are looking to get in on the retest and push it lower. So it's the battleground, right? That is the market. Every S curve looks like a double top. Technically, it's not a double top till we take out the neckline. And we barely did this week, but was bought up. We didn't close below it. So I don't care unless we close below it. We'll find out. This sentiment is pretty decent. That's a pretty cool day. On the weekly, you're sitting right on top of EMAs that if this thing was going to go bearish, this is what it would have done. The reason why this gap was so awesome is because it trapped a lot of bears. Everyone that shorted this and everyone that shorted right off those EMAs woke up on Monday and said, suck, I'm screwed, and got out. And shorts bought to close, and that's what causes that to do that on a weekly chart. And then you came down, retested those EMAs, put in an indecision candle. We'll find out. You might have one more week of chop, but it looks like you're ready to rock and roll. So cool. A few more, and we can get some talking. I'm actually doing okay on time. Sweet. SLQT, select quote. Another brand new stock, right around 20 bucks. Man, I don't know how to trade this. You need to know more about this company. I don't know anything about this company. Select quote, insurance. Insurance, Jacob says. Okay. If the company's good, this will be the bouncing point. If the company sucks, it's going to fall or just retest that base. So I don't know anything about it. All I know is that's not the greatest of sentiment I've ever seen. But this is definitely a bouncing zone. We'll find out what happens. It would have been nicer this week to close back above this EMA, which it failed to do. So I don't know, man. Interesting. You're going to get some chop in that little realm for a little bit. New stocks are tough unless you know the company is extremely well. Because other than that, the chart's not giving me any edge. SGH, last one. And then we can get to some volume. No. SGH. There we go. Weekly, you're stuck behind the iron wall of fortress of resistance. Daily, same thing. I'd be looking a little bit weaker. You have earnings coming right around the corner. I would expect selling into earnings anyways, so this thing's looking weak for me. It doesn't look incredibly strong. I could see that rolling down for sure. We'll find out. We'll find out what happens. I don't really have an edge on this either way, but weekly looks like you're kind of stuck. It is a little double bottom on a week for sure, but until it gets and closes above 27.10, I'm not too interested. But with earnings coming up, if earnings gap this thing up here, yeah, that looks great back up into 30. That'd be really cool. I don't know if it'll happen or not. It doesn't look super strong. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, that's our list. Volume. Let me go over some volume. Okay, so like we talked about before, you're going to have volume at key levels. That's going to be volume location because you're stuck with longs buying the breakout. You're stuck with shorts wanting to double top the thing, right? You're always going to have volume here, okay? So let's put some people behind these candles. That is the secret to trading, right? Put yourself in those candles. Read the sentiment of those candles, and you'll trade a heck of a lot better. Why did this volume come in on a non-earnings thing? This could have been news. Very well could have been news. But the location of this tells me something interesting. Okay. Let's draw out some S-curves. Okay. We took out, that's a big resistance. That line sucks, but that's a really good resistance. So you have a ton of people buying on this candle, right? You have a lot of people shorting since it's into that resistance. And you have even more people that are taking profits that bought down into here. That was their profit taking zone right up into there or into there or into there. Somewhere they took profits. So this candle has massive amount of volume of people getting out to take their profits. Shorts getting the heck out because they don't think it's very strong. Shorts getting in, and a whole bunch of noobs buying way too high. This is called exhaustion volume, right? That's one thing volume will tell you is whenever you have this many candles in a row, besides this little bear candle, but whenever you have a move like that, pretty much vertical, all bullish candles for the most part, you have an elongated candle, which means you have a candle that has a longer body than the average, right? The average is not super big, but you have this candle that's way longer than the average. And then you have the volume that comes in that just blows the other volume out of the water. That usually means exhaustion volume. So when I said earlier that I think this is as high as it's going to get, because this volume tells me that all the noobs got screwed that bought right there, because new traders, we were all new traders. This was me, this was Jerremy Newsome, right? Everyone that starts out, this is how you think. You have this day here, and it's too scary because the only thing you can see is that. Actually, let me do this. This makes things a little bit easier. The only thing you see is this, and this stock looks like it's going to zero. So there ain't no way I'm buying buying this thing, for sure. Going to zero. Oh, okay. Well, that looks good. Nice bullish engulfing candle. Anyone that knows what they're doing is going to say, okay, This big old bullish engulfing candle, I'm putting my entry somewhere at like 7.9, somewhere on the retracement of that bull candle. That looks like we're ready to party. If it skips me, it skips me. But hey, this is the first sign of strength. You're taking out not just one, but two bear candles, fully engulfing on volume, down at a support. Okay. Anyone that knows what they're doing says this is the time to buy. Noobs see this and say it's still too scary. Okay. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And now the noobs are going, oh, well, okay, maybe it is starting to go bullish. It's gone from 750 to 850. If I bought those calls, I'd have so much money. I'm going to go ahead and buy the breakout of this candle. Let's go one more time. Boom, there's the noobs. And they go, oh my gosh, they bought somewhere in here. You're all the way up to 9, and you're going, oh man, this thing's going to 20 in like 3 days because we went from 7 to 9 in like a week. Awesome. Awesome. And then guess what happens? Monday comes. Oh crap. What does every single noob do? They buy there and they put their stop a penny below it because they can't lose, because that means they're wrong, right? That means you're wrong. You're losing. You're a terrible person. You're an idiot, right? Jacob, that's a big part of it. A lot of people buying too high, with the combination of everyone that knew what they were doing getting the freak out. Because this volume, just because it's green, doesn't mean it's a 100% buying candle, buying volume. This is a mix of short sellers, profit takers, entries getting in. It's a mixture of everyone, right? But all I know is that this is where I would be taking profits. I would have taken my profit right at that EMA right there. That's where I've been in right there, out right there, 2 R's done. Okay. And then that's what causes that big volume to come. So when that big volume comes, you don't know it's exhaustion volume till afterwards. This thing could keep on rampaging even though its volume was big, right? So you find that out after the fact. It's really hard to say, oh, this is exhaustion volume when this candle's in. Maybe, maybe not. Exhaustion volume means that's the high. That's as high as it's going to go for a little bit. So this thing could have very well done that, even though that kind of volume came in. But I know, because we just saw this, that it just kept selling off. What causes this? Noobs and everyone else getting the freak out and scared because they bought it way too high. If you bought this thing down here, you're at break even. You're not scared. Everyone else that chased this and bought it way too high, they're bailing because they're like, oh man, I thought this thing would be at 12 by now. And guess what? They didn't just put 3 shares here. It's an $8 stock. What did they do? They mortgaged their house right there. They put every dime they could into calls right there. They're $30,000 deep in calls thinking this thing was going to go from 8 to 12. When what they should have done was gone from 7 to 9, right? That's what they should have done instead of trying to go from 9 to 12. So these guys are freaking out. They're getting the heck out. They're bailing, they're bailing, they're bailing. Most of the time when you have price action of a big move into a resistance on massive volume and then no one comes in to buy it up off of any EMA, you should have easily S-curved off of that one or the least that one. So when this thing keeps coming in, you now know that's most likely exhaustion volume. It is, it's confirmed now. That's everyone knowing what they were doing that bought down there, getting out while all the noobs have been buying all day long, thinking this thing's just going to keep going to 12. So reading volume can give you a good expectation, because right now we're looking to get into this trade, right? You brought this up like, hey, is this a good buying point? Yes, possibly. But I also know that anything up in here is as high as this thing will go for a long time. If this was going to go higher anytime soon, it would have done it then. So the fact that you clearly closed back below all these EMAs right back down to this base, could this be a double bottom? Yes. But that's more likely what I see. I don't see this thing double bottoming and just going bananas. It could happen, but I doubt it. So do I want to take this trade? Probably not. I got EMA sitting right in front of me, and no one cared to buy this thing at this price. So why do you think someone's going to buy it when it gets back to that price? Using volume can give you a good idea of sentiment. putting yourself in the shoes of someone else gives you a good idea of sentiment. So let's go to like pets. Let's read, let's try to get an idea of any other type of volume or move. So if you, can I look at Disney? Sure. I was just picking a random stock. Let's do Disney. Okay, so earnings volume is very different from exhaustion volume. You need to know that. Exhaustion volume normally happens at an all-time high or a new high for the day. It's very effective like on a 5-minute chart when you're day trading. So on a daily chart, it's effective, but not as much, I would say, as during the day. Because noobs are day trading more than swing trading. But it does happen a lot more, right? So exhaustion volume, I would say, plays a little bit more of a role day trading on a 5-minute chart. And we are almost out of time. So I've covered volume enough. Let's talk about indicators. Okay. Everyone wants an indicator. Everyone wants, hey, when this line crosses that line, buy it. Did that work right here? Yeah, it did. It hit the honey hole. This was also over earnings, so that doesn't really count. But, you know, a lot of people, what about this? Okay. What about when that thing crosses? Is it time to buy? Yeah, that would have worked. Okay. Here's my thing and dish on indicators. Indicators are there to help you gain an edge in the sense of give you a better idea and understanding and a better reading of the trend of the chart. I would say that's one of the best things an indicator can do. If you're trading solely off of an indicator, you're going to have massive drawdown periods, meaning you're going to go 6 months of just lose, 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 win, lose, 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 win, lose, 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 lose. And then finally you'll get like 1 month of just like nonstop winning. So everyone that's trying to sell you indicators are great, but understanding price action and understanding the people behind it, behind the candles, will make that indicator effective. It's just like looking at chart patterns, like we talked about the other day. What's the difference between a bullish engulfing candle up at the top of the near all-time highs and a bullish engulfing candle on a 2% pullback back down to weekly EMAs? What's the difference? All right, anyone know that? What's the difference between that bullish indicator, that bullish candle, and this one? It's the location of the chart. People that know what they're doing don't want to buy right there. They want to buy down here, off of indicators, off of EMAs. I mean, off of things that are letting them know that they're getting a better deal. And why does that work? Because everyone does it. The market is just like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why does everyone buy off of the 100 EMA? Because everyone thinks this is where you should buy it, and so everyone buys it. And so it works because everyone buys it because that's what you're supposed to do off of the 100 EMA on a daily, on a bullish stock. That's what happens. It works. So my thing on indicators are, don't lean on an indicator to tell you when. Let an indicator help confirm your already thoughts of, hey, this is pulled back, it's into a nice support, and my indicator is signaling buy. You can use an indicator to help confirm your analysis, to help give you a better idea of sentiment, of trend change. But if you use an indicator solely to trade off of, like, hey, when you know, I have an indicator that turns green when certain amount of volume comes in on this and it's an engulfing candle. Well, look, that happened there. Massive bullish volume on an engulfing candle and you would have gotten killed. At the exact same time, you have massive volume on an engulfing candle and you would have been rich. So use the indicators to help you, but use your knowledge of the markets to know when to apply those indicators. You need to be able to say, is this where I want to buy? No. Let's go to a weekly chart. Let's go to a weekly chart. Do you want to buy up here after that move? No. Wait for the 50% retracement of that candle. That's what just came in. I would say Disney is like the rest of the market, and it's probably getting ready to go. Because how dumb do all these people feel that bought off here and that Disney's all the way down at 124 and they bought it at 130? They feel stuck. They feel scared. And the sad thing is, they're probably getting out right now, and now's the time to go. Right? Disney looks like it could go. We pulled back in. This candle on a weekly chart was on this volume was like, hey, it's go time. It is go time on Disney. Now it's just a matter of where do I want to get in? And if I saw this candle, if just this candle was here, would I say, hey, this candle came in. Do I want to buy? Let's put an order in to buy up there. Would you ever do that? No. What would you do? I'm going to probably look for a 50% retracement right there. So now let's fast forward this and look at how many people bought up there. Right there. We just said we wouldn't buy up there, but then how many people would have bought right there because they're like, I'm missing it. Erase the candles and you look like an idiot buying way the frick up there, but put in some candles, you're like, oh, for sure. Let's buy this thing right here. Let's do that. That's a great place to buy. When 3 seconds ago, we're like, you'd be an idiot to buy at 137 when the price was at 130. You see the thinking behind FOMO? FOMO's stupid. FOMO's stupid. Keep your dumb entry there. And guess what? It might take 6 months to come down to your entry, but when it does, you're going to make some money. And instead of you losing an R, 3 Rs, an R, and being down 20 Rs by the time it gets to your buying point, so then when you make 10 Rs, you're still down 10 Rs? Why don't you just screw all of this and wait for the dumb thing to come down to where you wanted to buy it and just make 10 Rs? Half the problem with traders that start out is they lose like 50 Rs because they're stuck screwing around up here when they shouldn't be because they're not patient enough to just put their entry in and keep it there. And guess what? If you put your entry there and your stop there and it did this and you lost, you lose. You're never going to win on every trade you take. You're going to lose on way more trades than you win on. Get that in your head. You're going to lose all the time. All the time. If you can't become a loser, a good loser means you lose less than an R, not more than an R. How many people go, my stop was right here, but I'm about to get stopped out. I'm going to move my stop to there. And then I'm going to move my stop to there. And now you're having a 5R loss when your average winning trade is 0.2 Rs because every time you're up 3 pennies, you take it, even though your target's all the way up here. You're never going to make money. Set your stop. Accept the loss. It's just 1 R. If you're freaking out, your R is way too big. If you were going to lose $10, if you had a $10 R, would you give a crap if it came down and stopped you out? No. But do you care when your R is $500 and you're like, man, I have to work for like 3-4 days out of the week to make $500 and I'm about to lose that in a day and a half. Screw that. Oh, I got to move my stop down. There's no way I can do that. This thing will bounce, right? Set it for half an R. Or what you could do is just, instead of putting your stop right on the bottom of a wick, put your stop down here so that later on in the trade, you can move your stop up. And now you're only going to lose 0.5 R. And you're still have it in a really good location. So, guys, I got to go. I wish I could talk stocks all day. It was fun. Thanks for letting me fill in this week. I hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. We're going to try to implement some more teaching into our weekly afternoon kind of swing trade room. I hope it helps. Learn some more terminology. Learn some more volume. We love you guys. I will have some fun golfing. I got to go right now. If I want to keep my tee time. But I love you all. Let me know. What do you want to talk about Monday? Let's make a list. Throw them at me. I'll do my best. Anything. I got SSP on there. WIN, got INTC, PLL, Tesla. Let's see. Ooh, we got some. That's what's up. We could do that. Etsy, Tesla. I think I have Tesla on there, right? I already have Tesla on there. MSFT, AMD, Spot, Max R, UB, GAN, WMT, AXN. Thanks, Tony, on the list. It's like Ricky Bobby when he's signing autographs and he signs that baby's forehead or whatever. He's like, you can't, you know, or signs that girl's forehead. And she's like, you can't get in my way when I'm doing autographs. I'm in autograph mode. That's exactly how I was. I literally, Jack almost wrote, thanks, Tony. All right, I think that's a good list. We will see everyone Monday. Have a safe weekend. Have a fun weekend. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for putting up with me. Enjoy it. Enjoy your life with RLT. That's the whole point of this, right? That's why I'm going golfing. That's what I do. I do this so I can have a life instead of work 80 hours a week. So thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Love y'all. See ya.